Joining me today, a very special guest, a lady who really doesn't need any introduction, but I'm going to give her one here, the best I can. From the Grammy-winning Halestorm, the siren of the rock world, the lady with probably the best pipes you've ever heard, anyone, anywhere, the one and only Lzzy Hale. Lzzy, how are you?
I'm doing great. You're making me blush.
That's good. We're off to a good start then. We're off to a good start then. If I start making you turn green, then the interview has gone south and we need to change where we're going.
It's a color-coded interview.
Indeed. We're doing good right now with the blush. Well, of course, thank you for taking the time. And we have a lot to cover, so let's just get right to it because everyone has been just thrilled with the news that has been dropped. Everyone, the rumblings, the talkings, the articles, the interviews. Brand new Halestorm on the way on May 6th, back from the dead. Right now, the current single, The Steeple. Very exciting news. You guys excited to have, in this day and age we live in, to have a new album on the way?
Oh my gosh, it just feels so good to be releasing new music. And you know, like you say, in the immortal words of Tom Petty, the waiting is the hardest part. You know, we had this album wrapped before we went out on our first real big tour back with Evanescence back in December. And we're like, oh man, now we got to wait. And it's getting closer, you know, but we're really excited about it. We're super stoked.
So the sixth studio album?
I think it's the fifth. It feels like the sixth, though.
The 36th album. Okay, so fifth here, the follow-up to 2018, the last album that we had. Now, I think the title is interesting, Back from the Dead, because you guys weren't dead. You guys have been, I think, nonstop since you and RJ, I think, came out of the womb. So why the title Back from the Dead?
Honestly, we were writing a lot of this album in real time, just during lockdown and everything going on. And you know, it had been the longest we've ever gone. This is also true for every other musician, but you know, since we were 13 and 11, you know, the longest we've ever gone without a show, longest we've ever gone without hanging out with each other. It just felt like, you know, we were kind of just at time just kind of stood still. So we kind of had to fight to get on the other side of that. So this album is obviously it's full of debauchery. There is that survival idea because now that we're, you know, everything is getting back and rolling again and we're back doing shows, it really does feel like this return and almost like, all right, we made it through, we're here, you know, and everything just, you know, sounds better and feels better and the community is amazing. So just really wanted to kind of come out swinging and triumphant after everything we've all gone through the past couple of years. I guess what we're still going through, but still.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you went from that title, and we love that. You know, we've already had two singles now. Again, the latest one, The Steeple. Let's break down this album a little bit because you guys are obviously veterans now in the music world. And again, with this fifth album, was there a different approach going into this one? I know you said, yeah, obviously we've all had that downtime. And some interviews I've done as of late, people almost kind of second guessing tracks, maybe reworking on things. How did this album finally come together? I know you said you kind of had it completed. Now the waiting part there, was this a different come together on this one with how you guys approached this one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, there was no real way to do it in any normal way. You know, well, if I take it back to the beginning, there's, you know, a couple months BC before COVID, we had begun doing demos and all of that. And then, you know, as soon as, you know, more bad news, lockdown happened. And we kind of looked at a lot of those demos and said, that it just seems a little like unimportant. So we ended up throwing like all of those early ideas away. And then just kind of writing in real time everything that you were feeling in the moment. But then it was kind of like a relay sport for us because usually we'd all get together where everybody jams, everybody works out. And so it was almost like, you know, I was here actually, you know, there's a small studio in this room that I'm sitting next to right now, but either in this room or in my basement, you know, making up demos. And then I would like pass the baton to the guys and to, you know, my guitar player, then we'd see what the rhythm section thought. And so we were, you know, separate for a long period of time. And then it just, as it so happened, I was recording all of my vocals, my keeper vocal takes on this album. I was recording them to the demos. So usually it's and then when we finally got in the studio, all the the vocals were already done. So we just ended up building all of our guitar parts and everything around that track, which is different than the way we normally do it. Usually I'm the last person to get in the booth. You know, we build up everything else, the music, and then I'm like, all right, Lzzy, go sing on it. And so it was kind of interesting doing it that way too. It just, everything was just a little miscombobulated. And then when we finally got into the studio together and just kind of like bubbled up and had it tight, we were quite irresponsible. We have like a full album's worth of B-sides where we just got together and jammed because we're like, guys, it was like getting the band back together again. So there's all this excitement. And yeah, we just recorded this album really with this unknown future. Like, well, if we're never allowed to go out and tour again, what are we going to do on here? This is our only outlet. We had to write through it. So yeah, it's a barn burner of an album, and I'm super proud of it. I think it's one of our most cohesive, but also it definitely takes you on a little bit of an action movie ride. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
It's like a swan song, even though you guys aren't done. Maybe could we look at it that way?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We're just gonna go balls to the wall, let them land where it may, and then we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Exactly. Everything's on 11.
You mentioned too, you know, whether you have the studio where you're at right now, or maybe in your basement. I was always intrigued by that because you hear about, oh, well, this song I wrote on a tour bus when I was in Ohio, or this one. Do you write or think or play differently when you're in maybe a different setting, maybe as opposed to, all right, we're in the studio, we got 3 weeks, let's do this? Is it a different mindset, a more relaxed, a more deep or dark brooding? How does that work for you?
It is. It gets a little, for me anyway, personally, and there is some darkness to this album because of that. It does. It gets a little darker because you're not necessarily putting anything on, you know, even subconsciously when people are around, and there's no other opinions. So you kind of have to trust yourself, which is really hard to do, actually. But you can also go down any rabbit hole that you really want because it's just up to you. So silver linings, you know, with making that record, it did become a very personal record for me because of all that. But the beautiful thing about that, and I always tell this to songwriters, we always have this discussion, whereas when you're writing from a selfish point of view, and it's just you and you, it in turn, after you record the songs and you put it out there, it becomes almost more universal by being more personal, by having that core. Because what you realize is that whatever you were going through, there are millions of other people that were going through the same thing. So it just becomes more anthemic. But yeah, it's definitely different because like when we're out on tour, and if I'm in like the back of the tour bus or something with my guitar, it's different because people are coming in and out, and there's a you know, it's like you don't have a whole lot of privacy, and you know, and so yeah, when you're alone with your own head, it can get a little strange.
Sitting there looking in the mirror with your guitar going, all right, we're going to get deep here all of a sudden.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
I think that's such a cool take, or an interesting take, you know, and the way you put that is how your own thoughts and thinking maybe, oh, no one else has to be feeling this, but then finding, wow, there's a lot of people that can relate to how I'm feeling or what I'm putting out there. And that's what we can see on Back from the Dead, at least that take, or what people can make of it come May 6th.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? It's so beautiful because when we released that song, and on this last tour that we were at, we did this evening with run in the UK, and there are kids with the lines from the songs tattooed on them. Like I've seen so many Back from the Dead tattoos, and I'm like, the album isn't even out yet. You know, it's amazing. So yeah, what a beautiful time to be in, you know, in rock music and in a rock band and being a rock fan. It's just it's a wonderful place to be.
Well, again, for everyone, May 6th is the day. Mark it on your calendars. Back from the Dead going to be out. You hear the Steeple out now, and we'll get a deeper look into the album once we get it out, as people start downloading, buying them, getting at the record stores. Do you maybe have a song on the album that really speaks to you, or maybe is a favorite that you like? If someone said, "Hey, Lzzy, you got a favorite track you want to play me on this?" Do you have one? Maybe it is the Steeple. What do you got?
Well, you know, honestly, there's a lot of favorites. There's some deeper ones. The last track on the album has a little bit of a twist to it, and that's Raise Your Horns, and that one's a favorite of mine. That one nearly took the entirety of lockdown to write that one. But then a really fun one is Strange Girl. And then I also, I mean, I like the second track right after Back from the Dead, Wicked Ways, is going to surprise some people as well. So yeah, everybody was on 11, man. It's like, you know, I'm singing my head off, you know, everyone's playing the guitar like we've never played it before. You know, my guitar player Joe is just ripping. My little brother is crazy as ever, you know. So yeah, we're excited. It's probably the most Halestorm that we can be at this point.
The most Halestormy-esque album of Halestorm that we will ever get, which
apparently we have a sound.
It's just a little. Well, it's a good one that everyone likes. That's why we're 5 albums deep at this point. Well, we are just giddy with anticipation. And two, with the album, when I was kind of looking at what was sent to me, you had two producers. You had your main producer, was that Nick
Raskulinecz. Yeah.
Nick,
it's hard to say.
Scott, yes. so Nick R. and Scott Stevens. But when you look at their kind of background and their list of accomplishments with the Foo Fighters, Alice in Chains, Shine down in there with Scott, do you like kind of getting those outside viewpoints? People that have worked with bands of that caliber along with you, of course. Does that help bring new stuff to the album and to what you guys write and bring to it as well?
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny. It's the first time that we've ever had, you know, a co-production situation. And I loved having both of those cooks in the kitchen, so to speak, because what we knew, because I respect both of them so much. We've been friends for, you know, years and years, you know, obviously, and I trust them both. But it was great because once we knew that once something was done and everyone was excited about it, when we were all collectively excited about something, we knew it was right. You know, we knew it's like, okay, this is something special. So, and man, it's hilarious because everybody, what I love about Nick Raskulinecz is that he makes every album so personally, you know, just so personal for him. And he's a fan of every band he works with. He will not work with you if he's not a fan of your band. If he is not going to be front row, center stage at your concert, he's not. Yeah, and so it was really neat to like just have that and have somebody, you know, that's able to look at you from the outside. And this is, you know, why we still love working with producers and then with, you know, Scott's my brother from another mother. And he's so creative and he's just as obsessed, especially with vocals and stuff that I am. So we nerded out a lot and we just got everything right. So we didn't leave any stone unturned on this album. So yeah, super proud to work with both of them.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure it all turned out great. And again, May 6th is when the world will get the full on Back from the Dead. Can't wait. Long time coming. So very, very exciting. I did always, I've never had a chance to ask you this question. And all the years I've known you all the way back from Springfield, Missouri, to back when we were young and, you know, not so worn out, at least me anyways. You still look great. Me I've aged terribly. You got to tell me your skincare secret or whatever it is. Vocals, you are on this level that I think not just female singers try to attain or reach for, even male singers. And obviously, we could look back at your influence. You had, you know, Joan Jett, I'm sure, the Wilson sisters, Joan Baez, whatever. Was there any male singers that really put I guess their stamp on you and musically what you tried to do vocally, I guess?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, that was some of my earliest, just when I was discovering rock music, thanks to my dad, was a lot of his generation. So really for me, it was Ronnie James Dio. And then it was also Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, just the way that he growls. It's like I had spent, you know, from the time I was in middle school, been trying to figure out how they do what they do. And man, just, Ronnie, obviously, like the man was otherworldly with his vocals. But yes, and there are so many times, and speaking of being in the studio, so many times where I will have a Ronnie moment and the guys will pick up on it and the guys will be like, yeah, that's definitely taken from that. So I still wear my influences on my sleeve from time to time.
Of course, you know, when you're having a Ronnie moment, I think most people would be okay with that if they're in the studio. I'll pull a little
That's
Ronnie James Dio out of there, just a tad, just a tad. I love it, and obviously, you know, you've done so much for the female rockers out there, and such that empowering figure, which I just have to commend you on that, because you know, sometimes you feel like as a female, maybe you got to work just a tad bit hard. I don't want to get too deep on that, but I know it's a lot of cock rock and a lot of guys out there strutting their stuff. So sometimes you ladies almost got to put a little bit more in. But you've been such a champion for the ladies out there. So I commend you for that. Of course.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's still, to me, the way I've always looked at it is that, you know, look, you can absolutely love what I do, and that's great. You can hate my guts, don't like what I do, that's great too. It's really, I hold myself up to, you know, a high standard, and there's really the only person that's in my way is myself. So that, you know, I don't really pay any mind to any of that. I mean, and it's definitely nowhere near where it used to be. There's been a lot of change happening as far as, you know, just women being present in not only in, you know, rock bands and musicians, but, you know, tour managers, lighting directors, in, you know, every profession. Also the audiences. I always tell my male friends, if you want to meet a badass chick, come to one of our shows. There are so many just young, like beautiful and just black t-shirt wearing women that are coming to our shows. And and I swear to God, just like a few short years ago, it was like 60-40 male, female, and now it's completely flipped. They're everywhere. So yeah, this is where the ladies are at. The crazy wenches. But yeah, and it's so wonderful to be in a position, because I know the ones that influenced me and that made the bridge to my dream just a little shorter. It's so great to be on that other side right now and be able to look at some of these girls in the eye and be like, hey, I'm doing this, so it's not impossible for you to do. You can do whatever the hell you want. So it's a beautiful place to be.
Awesome. Well, we have nothing but love and respect for you on that, and what you've done and continue to do, obviously, and will continue to do, you and the rest of the gang in Halestorm. Again, May 6th, the album drops. Woo! Back from the Dead. You can hear the steeple on JJO, whatever. We're going to play every single song is getting on air. That's what we're going to do, top to bottom. Top to bottom. I like it.
Well, I appreciate that. I might hold you to that. I will come down there. I will come down there and sit next to you. Make you, just force you to play. Taking you hostage. But,
I'll take it. I'll take it. I've had worse things happen to me, Lzzy. I really have. So.
That's awesome. It's a date.
Yes.
No, we love Madison. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of our family for so many years, and not forgetting all about us even when the world goes upside down. I really appreciate it.
You guys are too loud to forget about. Even if we wanted to, we'd hear you from the next back. Oh, it's the Halestorm crew again. They're just working around over there.
We can't get rid of them. They keep
That's
coming
right.
back.
I've been pounding on the wall, telling them to keep it down over there. Lzzy, before you go, could we do rapid fire with Lzzy Hale? Is that okay?
Oh,
before we wrap this up?
Absolutely.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, May 6th, mark it down, Back from the Dead, hitting the digital store, wherever you got it, go get it. And you're going to love it. And we are super excited for new music from Halestorm in 2022. Okay. Rapid fire with Lzzy Hale. And there's no wrong answers. No wrong emotions. You just, whatever you want to go with, that's fine. All right. So let's start off something easy. Double neck or single neck guitar?
Oh, damn it. That's hard. I'm going to go single neck, because if I have back problems, it's because of my double neck.
That's holding that thing around. Disco or techno?
Oh my gosh. Okay. You're going to hate me for this. I'm going to have to go disco. Sorry.
You're going disco.
Going disco. Bee Gees all the way.
There is a photo of me and my two friends in matching polyester disco shirts and bell-bottom pants. I will never be upset with disco. You're fine. You did great.
All right. I'm looking that up.
Chili dog or corn dog?
Oh, chili dog.
Chili dog? Onions on that, or no? Do you avoid the onions?
No, I like onions. I'm weird.
There you go. Not good for when you got to get those singing going. You got those onion.
That's true.
Would you rather see Bigfoot or El Chupacabra?
Oh man. I grew up with Harry and the Hendersons, so I'm going to go Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. As long as he's nice, like the
I
big,
know.
Like Harry.
There's some stipulation, but
We'll figure it out.
fine print.
Would you rather take one punch from Mike Tyson or 100 punches from the Where's the Beef lady?
Oh man, 100 punches from Where's the Beef lady? Let's go for it. Yeah.
Right? Like, one, it's a story. You'll survive. And two, it's a story. It's a story.
Yeah, and I'd probably be laughing too hard
Yeah,
to even feel the
Where's the
pain.
beef? Where's the beef? Which just cause for 100 punches. I love it. Thank you for humoring me. You are the best. And that has been Rapid Fire with Lzzy Hale. And of course, once again, May 6th, mark it down, Back from the Dead, out from Halestorm. You guys are going to love it. And then I'm sure you guys will be all over on stages and in everyone's ears for many years to come. And more Grammys on the way too, I'm sure. Let's mark that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
You're very sweet. Yeah. We'll stick that out there in the universe. No, you're delightful as always. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Lzzy, will you take care? We'll talk to you soon.
Yes. Thanks, bud.
Bye.